Verse 21. He says, the wise in heart will be called understanding, and sweetness of speech increases persuasiveness. It's like the verse in chapter 15 yesterday that says the wise in that our tongue, the tongue of the wise makes knowledge acceptable or attractive. Rather, it's the same thing here that pleasant words are more persuasive than harsh words. Look at verse 24. He said, pleasant words are a honeycomb, sweet to the soul and healing to the bone. These
Store
harsh and
what?
arrogant words,
Liquor.
verses 27 to 28. A worthless man, notice this,
It was
a
16.
worthless man
Uh,
spreads strife,
oh, I know.
Yeah.
and a slanderer, somebody's tearing down other people all the time. A slanderer separates intimate friends, like cause trouble and conflict and so on. Scripture speaks so much about kindness and humility. As I said yesterday in Galatians 5, that's part of the fruit of the Spirit. It's Christ likeness. But that doesn't mean you're a pushover, that you don't stand firm in convictions. But when you speak for Jesus, if you speak with arrogance, if you speak with harshness, you're not speaking for Jesus. You're speaking out proud. And you just speak like God wants us to speak with tenderness and kindness. Now, we're all going to blow it occasionally. I have. I imagine you have as well. We should grow in wisdom and righteousness, and it's going to show up in how we talk. Our speech today should be better than it was last year. And hopefully our speech tomorrow will be better than yesterday.
Grow.
Learn how to talk by listening to God.
Did I just hear him say grow? If you grow in wisdom
Not to be here,
and righteousness and humility,
but listening to God.
It's highlighting that human plans are ultimately guided by God's will.
With our traditional service in the middle at 9:45. And I'll be preaching the second of two sermons this Sunday on bicycle discipleship. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just show up Sunday and you'll find out. Bicycle discipleship. That's Sunday morning. And then Monday, I'll see you with another devotion. God bless you, everybody.
So we have, this goes up to 33. So I want you to read the first 6 verses.
Great weekend, and also we're blessed to worship the Lord Jesus Christ in person with God's people this past Sunday. And if you were not able to do that, please check out the worship service on our website at fbcrockhill.org. You can see the sermon that I recorded previously, or you can also, if you want to see the whole service, pull up the live stream. They're both there and available for you. Today, in our devotion, as part of our Bible reading plan, we are in Proverbs chapter 17. And I just want to remind everybody that Proverbs doesn't, most of the Proverbs, not all of them, but the vast majority of them do a contrast. In other words, there's a statement that says, if you do this, then generally speaking, this happens. But if you do that, then generally speaking, something else happens. And in that contrast is the truth, is the wisdom. Don't take the Proverbs as a hard, fast law, but a principle that if you do A, then generally B happens. If you do C, then generally speaking, D happens. And the contrast is such that you know one of them is bad and the other is good. So it's wisdom. And there's a lot of that in this particular chapter. The one that spoke to me, though, is really found in verse 9. And because there's truth in it, but I've also seen this truth in this verse abused. Verse 9, he who conceals a transgression seeks love, but he who repeats a matter separates intimate friends. Now, that is a general principle of Scripture that we are not to gossip, not to tell everything we know. Um, that just because something is true doesn't mean you need to be spreading it on Facebook or Twitter or in conversation. The Bible really condemns gossip. Um, and, and so this is a beautiful biblical truth that, that we don't need to destroy people by revealing everything. So that's true. But I've also seen this verse abused. And somebody does something really wrong, sexual abuse, physical abuse of a spouse or a child, whatever. Someone steals money. And I've heard people
Turn the
use
TV off.
this verse and other similar verses to say, well, don't say anything to anybody because
Good morning.
Well, hello there, Miss D. What's happening?
Nothing much. How are you?
Fantastic.
Great game last night, huh?
Woohoo!
I know.
What time
Very
is it?
nice.
I can do that. Don't worry. It'll be switched up by tomorrow. Believe that. I'm a proud man about it. To what? They, they're in the drawer. They're near me. There was one in there today. I'll figure it out. What you need it? Do you need it? One is that yeah. I got them. One is charging right now.
Great morning.
Well, good morning, Ree. How are you? How was your trip to Atlanta?
It was super fantastic. I'm super fantastic. I'm just leaving the dermatologist, getting my skin corrected and
Oh,
things like that. What is going on with you in this virtual thing, Mr. Get on the camera.
get on the camera for what? Oh,
Yeah. You always preach, get on the camera, get on the camera, get on the camera. You got this cartoon character on
I'm
here.
on the camera.
No, the cartoon character is on here.
Oh, we on there though. That's it. You can hear me
Okay.
talking and everything. You know that's
I
me, don't
do,
you?
but I just remember practice what you preach. You know, and you always preach that. So I'm just saying, do you? But I'm just saying,
Oh, how was your trip? It was good.
it was amazing. Absolutely, got me some rest yesterday,
Oh
and
wow.
I
You
had to
watched the
get
game?
acclimate the game. You said, did I watch the game?
Football game, yes.
Yeah, I'm only doing what puts money in my pocket, sir.
Oh, you watch yours put money in her.
Hey, I'm only doing what's putting money in my
I
pockets
gotta
and
love
and what's putting money in other people's pockets. I'm helping other people put money in their pockets as
Yes,
well as
Lord.
putting money in my pockets. So that's all. I'm only doing income producing activity work. That's it.
Okay.
We are now going into on February 19th. We're going into 40 days, 40 nights, and that's all I'm worried about. My
I
travel
know
business
that's right.
and my assistant living business. That's it. Nothing other than, and my definitely my personal development.
Yes, that's putting money in your pocket.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it. You so low. All right, ladies, I'm gonna just play this real fast. I think this is gonna give us an overview. Today we're going to talk about Proverbs 16. Just a little bit. It talks Proverbs 16. I thought Proverbs 15 was outstanding. But guess what? It's even better when we go into the 16. Now, these verses, why is this one good? Wisdom, plans, and divine guidance. Wisdom, plans, and divine guidance. So we're really what I wanted to do again is see how that deals with us and us as people. And I'm gonna ask you this. This is the question I'm gonna ask you today. Let's just say, let me ask you this. I'm gonna ask you something. Think of a time, Ree, when you made a plan that didn't go the way you expected it, but in the end, it worked out even better. How did you see God's guidance in that situation? If anything, how do you see the guidance in that situation?
I think that anything that's planned, anything
Mm-hmm.
that's planned, and it turns out to be other than what you expect it to be, always end up being what it should be. Um,
Whoa.
because I have a tendency to when things don't go the way I plan, I
Uh-huh.
I used to have a tendency to get, I'll just use the word angry or upset, and then I would divert. Like, okay, one day, this was a long time ago, I allowed somebody else to book my trip, or
Mm-hmm.
sorry, to book my room in Vegas, and my standards obviously was different from their standards because they had me staying at some hotel with people living there. And then she booked her room at one of the casino hotels, and I was like, why would you do that? Why would you book us over here? So I got all mad and upset and changed my flight ticket to go back home. And I couldn't get a flight ticket until that night. And
Mm.
but within that time, I had met some amazing people. I met this girl, and we just ended up having a really good time. And I was just wishing, why did I get so upset and change my flight instead of just redirecting myself and just getting
Mm-hmm.
another hotel room on my own accordance. And instead I jumped the gun, changed my flight, but I ended up linking up with the girl in California anyway. But that was an experience I was supposed to have. You know what I'm saying? I had to learn not to let anybody else do anything for me, like that. And then I had other experiences, like that too. Whereas if I wasn't so quick to, just, oh no, I'm going to do this, and then I had, and something positive end up happening in that experience. I have a lot of experiences that I could tell you guys that happened to me. So anything that happened to me that don't go as according to how I plan it, just take it with grace and just follow through, or because something better is going to happen in the end result anyway. That's for me.
I love the way she answers that. She says, take it with grace, ladies and gentlemen. Okay.
No, I
It
don't even
says,
know what I'm saying. I'm just saying whatever comes from my heart, my spirit,
Yahoo.
my heart, my spirit.
Ah, yeah, yeah. Well, this question that I just asked you helps participants of this call reflect on how God's direction plays a role in their lives. even when things don't go as planned. You understand what I'm saying? And I think a lot of us may be able to relate to that. Yes? No? Maybe so. Think
Yes.
about that. Talk to me. Lynn, I got a question for you. Pride goes before destruction, and naughty spirits before a fall. Naughty spirits before a fall. Can you share a personal or historical example where pride led to a downfall of humility led to your success?
Mm, that's a good one. I can't think of that off of the
People use this all of the time. Well, it's always going to be pride before the fall.
pride cometh before a
Destruction.
fall.
Yeah, yeah. You hear that, right?
Hmm.
Okay. So come on, let's go with that. Talk to me.
Um, I gotta think on that one for a quick second.
Hmm.
I do.
I have one real quick, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
I'm currently going through it right now. You guys know I've been in the travel business since 2015.
Mm-hmm.
I dropped it, let it go. I never dropped it financially, but I let it go physically and started a trucking business because I thought I needed something tangible. And it's been hard for me to really get back in the game and the motion of things and not paying attention to the bill payment that come out every month for 2 to 3 months. I had changed one of my credit cards and let it and it dropped. My, paying that monthly fee, it dropped for like three
Mm-hmm.
months. I had about 70 people on my team. I was almost there to director, and it fell off due to me not paying the bill for 2 to 3 months, me not knowing that um that the payment was connected to that card. I
Mm-hmm.
had to really come across humiliation or being humiliated, feeling humiliated. I had to humble myself and start all over again. Um, I'm just getting back from Atlanta, you know, just getting acclimated back into the travel business. And it shows a great amount of humility to do what it is that I'm doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's embarrassing that I can't stand up with the goal builders. It's embarrassing that I took all this time off and I can't stand up with the directors the way I should be. But I don't care. What I'm doing right now is going to and the personal development and the proverbs and everything is going to help me
Mm-hmm.
be better than what I was and be more extraordinary than what I was. So that's what I'm going through currently.
I'm so proud of you, Ree.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Ree.
Thank
It
you.
was just a setback for a comeback. That's all.
Thank you.
Come on.
Yes, I love
Come
it.
on.
Denial is just a little delay, honey. Just it's not a denial, just a little delay. And like you said, when you come out, yeah, you're gonna come out strong. I'm proud of you. Proud of you.
I appreciate those words. Thank you so much.
Wisdom. You have wisdom now. You're gaining wisdom. And wisdom is what? Wealth. Hello.
Hello. This is good. So you can't think of nothing, Lynn, still?
Mm,
Well, don't worry about it right now. We're going to continue on this journey. And when it comes to this kind of information, and I'm going to tell you, Ree knows at the end of the day, to be able to just mm, to do what she just said. it just, that's awesome. All right, Lynn, how about we just start with our reading today? And the reason why I was telling you guys about this 16, I mean, it's a really pretty meaty, but I'm gonna do the best that we can to get covered. We're gonna cover it today.
Okay, which verses?
1 through 11.
Let's see. Okay, I'm going to read from the Good News translation today. Can you hear me?
I can.
Proverbs 16. We may make our plans, but God has the last word.
Hmm.
You may think everything you do is right, but the Lord judges your motives. Ask the Lord to bless your plans, and you will be successful in carrying them out. Everything the Lord has made has its destiny, and the destiny of the wicked is destruction. The Lord hates everyone who is arrogant. He will never let them escape punishment. Be loyal and faithful, and God will forgive your sin. Obey the Lord, and nothing evil will happen to you. When you please the Lord, you can make your enemies into friends. It is better to have a little honesty earned than to have a large income dishonestly gained. You may make your plans, but God directs your actions. The king speaks with divine authority. His decisions are always right. The Lord wants weights and measures to be honest and every sale to be fair. You said through 11?
What did you get from it?
It's almost like you can spend time making plans or thinking things out, and ultimately, um, like it says, God has the last word. So sometimes you might make a plan, and when it doesn't go according to your plan, we kind of you you can get off track, and it's at those times where you have to remind yourself that you don't have the ultimate power. Like, it's not necessarily going to go the way that you want it to go, but you have to still, I think everything is a learning experience, and you still have to, when things don't go according to plan, there's still a silver lining, there's still some wisdom or a lesson that can be gained, even when things don't go according to our plans. And kind of just brought me back to what the experience that we had shared about her plans going to Vegas. And maybe in a greater picture, she was supposed to meet that person the way that, she met them. Had she planned it herself or had things gone the way that she had intended, probably or may not have crossed paths with that person at all. And I just keep thinking about the silver lining, as they say. Sometimes we're in a situation and things seem like they're not working for us. But I think, myself, I think ultimately the things that are supposed to happen to you actually happen to you not to say that we have no control over what happens to us, but I think in the bigger picture, the people who we're supposed to meet and the things that we're supposed to happen, they do happen for us. Sometimes they don't happen for us in the correct time frame, I'll say, because maybe we messed it up. But I think whatever's supposed to happen to you truly happens to you, and to just try to see the wisdom in all of it.
Hmm. So, would you ask, let me ask you a question. Is there any time in your life that you got to an age where you thought you was in control of everything, or you wanted to control everything, or if it didn't go your way, you hit, it was another way that you didn't even seek control or guidance? Oh, 21. Why you on leave? I can't hear you.
Oh, I am so sorry. I said they call it 21.
Yeah, 21. You was grown then. You know it all.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the question I'm gonna ask you again. So it says, here's one. Would you want any guidance in your life today?
Today, yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
What
But I
type of
remember when I was 21, I thought I could conquer the world. I thought I was doing things, making moves. And I did some things, but I asked myself, had I done them differently, where would I be now?
hmm. Well, that's what this one deals with. First and foremost, somebody said to me, if you believe, that's it. Because, see, a lot of us, there's a lot of mistakes I've made and a lot of destruction or things that I've messed up simply in my walk, thinking I knew everything. Never, if you look at some of these, had like yesterday, Friday, we've been talking about 15. It deals with anger, right? Think about anger, the words that we choose in our lives. We think, well, I've been doing this all my life now. Either you love me or you leave me, whatever. And at the end of the day, would you want to stop the curse words yourself? See, this is where you got to start. You got to start working on yourself. So, Lynn, how can I get guidance from any of the stuff that we're reading right now if our heart is not really in it?
Well, if your heart's not really in it, then no, you can't.
It's almost impossible, right? What if it's so? If you don't, my thing here is if I want to change the words, I got to change my words. Am I making sense there? If I want to change the words, I have to change the words. It's like a word of submission. Did you ever want to submit to him? Right. You might want to submit to something else. But at the end of the day, most folks are they want to control everything. And your mind is wanting there. See, you can't even, at the end of the day, if your mind is constantly wanting to be in control, if they say something and it don't make sense to you, guess what?
It's hmm
You have to. And I keep on telling people, it don't have nothing to do with what you're saying. It starts in your head first. How can we change or transform our minds? This is the part of the process that I'm talking about. I'm asking myself. I don't want to use those words. Because you can see where the destruction is. Do you see that part of your life where you've used all these crazy words and it just led to what? Destruction. It leads to fights. It leads to anger. It leads to divorce. It leads to all of this stuff that's going on the wrong side. Change your head. We have to be wanting to be transformed.
You know what, Kim?
Yes, ma'am.
And we say this, the battle is in the mind.
Yes,
The
it is.
only trick that the enemy had was to make you doubt God
Mm-hmm.
and doubt what he what says in his
Mm,
word.
mm-hmm. Mm.
That's what he gets you to doubt what God has already said. You're already blessed. You already have what we have these things. We were created in the image of God. We have those things, but the battle is to remember. There's so many other things that are coming at
Mm-hmm.
us that will, get us to doubt God. You know, and
Wow.
this is so powerful. This particular
Mm-hmm.
proverb because it's like
Mm-hmm.
stuff is going on now. This is not yesterday. This is today.
Yeah.
These few. This
Yeah.
is today. God
Mm.
made everything. This verse 4 with a place and a purpose. Even the wicked are included, but for judgment. All right, I ain't gonna say no.
Wow. That's good. It says here, commit your work to him. Commit your work. No
And
matter
I
what.
was thinking about Ree, excuse me, when she said that. God, allowed you to let that go. He allowed that. So now when you come back, is you commit that business to
Mm-hmm.
the Lord. Commit your team, everything to the Lord and watch it grow.
Mm-hmm. Fact. Go ahead.
Thank you. Thank
You,
you.
let's see. Why don't we read here from 12 to 22? 12 to 22. Go ahead, Naima.
Okay. Um, I'm reading out of the message. Good leaders arbor wrongdoing of all kinds. Sound leadership has a moral foundation. Good leaders cultivate honest speech. They love advisors who tell them the truth.
That's hard right
Mhm,
there. Let me tell you
mhm,
something. That's
mhm,
probably a very difficult journey. A lot of people, let me tell you, when a leader tells you as a lead, when you're a leader, this is probably, it says you got to learn how to literally love that person to give you advice. Because that's
mhm,
all you're doing,
mhm,
right?
mhm.
But if you see it, you can't tell me what to do. I know I'm better than you. Man, we got to stop that.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to know that if you, first of all, the leader that's in my life, she'll let you know from the beginning. She didn't have nothing to do with how I met her and how I allow her to be the leader in my life. God did that. So if I got any problems with her, I go to God. Hello?
Wow. Deal with that. Go ahead.
Oh goodness. A intemperate leader wreaks havoc in lives. You're smart to stay clear of someone like that.
Mm,
15. Good temperate leaders invigorate lives. They're
Mm-hmm.
like spring rain and sunshine. And that's what we get on this call. You guys are always positive. Your
Mm-hmm.
energy is always up. You know, even if I remember if I come to you and you feel, and this is Kip, and I don't know if anybody else, if you feel my countenance off, Kim, you immediately go to me and address it, but you address it to a point of lifting me up so I can lift, get up there where you are. Not to bring you down.
Mm-mm.
So,
Mm-mm. That is true.
yes, yes. And Lynn, listen. Lynn, don't listen. You better not come talking to Miss Lynn any old kind of way. She's not going to allow it.
Mm-mm. Mm.
Oh, yeah. Get wisdom. It's worth more than money. Choose insight over income every time.
Everything.
Hello. Can we just say
Everything.
that? Hello.
Mm-mm. What did it say? Change what? Choose what?
Choose insight. Insight. Mm-mm-mm. Over
What does that
income
mean
every
when you hear
time.
that?
You choosing wisdom. You choosing the ones that speaks into your lives that's going to show you the light.
Mm-hmm.
They lighting a path. Okay? Listen, you says it all the time. Listen, you only give us information
That's
and
it.
then you document it. You back it up. When you give us information, you
Mm.
back it up and you tell us to go look for it, look at it for yourself. You do that
Mm-hmm.
all the time.
Get it. Yeah, that's I'm not here to convince you. Not at all.
You not, make up your own. You tell us, make your own. Here's the information, but here you make up your own decision.
Which one you want. And that's all.
Right, right. That's how you lead. My leader always tell us, she said, okay, y'all read it. I'm preaching it to you. She said, now go talk to the Holy Spirit for yourself
For
and allow
yourself.
the Holy Spirit to tell you what he just said in
Yep.
his word. Because everybody is at a different place. Even us reading the Proverbs, it's going to
Yeah.
hit us all differently. We're different in our walk with God.
That's good.
Hmm.
That's why we say we got 32 verses we're reading now from chapter 15. Right now, you're reading about 11 of them as well. But at the
Hmm.
end of the day, I'm not saying which one. Just take one of them
Yeah.
and ponder on that one that resonates with you
Hmm.
today. You
Hmm.
got to grow into that thing. Am I making
Hmm. Hmm.
all
Where do
right?
you want me to stop at? Verse 20?
32, 22.
Okay. All right. 17. The road of right living bypasses evil. Watch your step and save your life.
Mm,
First pride, then the crash. The bigger the ego, the harder the fall. And the acronym for ego is easing God out, just so y'all know that.
mm-hmm,
19. It's better to live humbly among the poor than to live it up among the rich and famous.
mm.
Verse 20. It pays to take life seriously. Things work out when you trust in God.
There it is.
There it is. There it is. Wisdom. 21. A wise person gets known for insight. Gracious words adds to one's reputation.
Mm,
22. True intelligence is a spring of fresh water, while fools sweat it out the hard way.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. You one of them fools. Yep, you gotta learn the hard way.
Gotta learn the hard way. School, mama told you, but I didn't listen.
Mm-hmm,
I didn't listen. So
mm-hmm,
much can be learned from um, doing it the right way. I want to just stop for a minute and just share with y'all that I shared with y'all Friday that I had my pop quiz. I gave my
mm-hmm,
granddaughter the assignment, but let me tell y'all, she got it.
mm-hmm,
She got it. Proverbs uh, chapter 1 verse 17 through 20 something, it was all right what she did. she went with the wrong crowd, and she can see it now. And I'm
Mhm.
so grateful to be here and right at this time. And now, her assignment is today is to continue on. But to see yourself when you did folly and then to see the consequences, she saw the consequences, and I told her, you're going to make some hiccups, some more hiccups in life.
Yep.
I
Yep.
said, but here you are. Now you have these proverbs that's going to help you, not make them as much. And
Tell
that's
the
what it's
truth, shame
doing.
it.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
Yes.
You know.
Yes. I
How
got an
many of us?
opportunity to share with her at 15. I didn't have nobody telling me at 15. Or if they was, I wasn't listening. And they wasn't telling me with this word.
Let me ask y'all a question. Today, how many of us today know when you did wrong and you know when you did right at that time? And right now, they say what we're going to do is make you sit. You need to go into some level of confinement. My mother used to do that to me all the way because she said she wanted you to go to your room, right? Go up into your room. Oh, I'll be up. And you be like 10 yourself. I mean, you just, what is you crying for? Ain't nothing even happening right now because you know you're behind about to get. Do you hear me? And life shows up like this. Life don't have to have a belt, guys. It literally, when you sit there and think about what you just did, knowing dang going well you had another way you could have dealt with that situation. But it ain't for me. Like it is a way and it'll tear your behind. I'm telling you, life just has a way of showing up, man, and it don't have no mercy on your at the end of the day. You got that guilt going on, your heart is hurting, everything. You beat up. I'll be like, no, I don't want no punishment. Just set me out. Beat me. We wanted the belt then. That's when I was asking, beat me. I don't want to go. No, no. Life has a way of showing you that. That's wisdom. And you're going to get it. Thanks, Naima, for sharing that. That's important. Very important. Lynn,
Yes.
would you like to share your story today? Or what happened to you this weekend?
Oh, and market.
Mm,
Uh, sure, I can.
go.
Well, it started Friday night. I went to the store and I had decided I wanted to make sandwiches. And I had put all of the ingredients in the cart. And the last thing I did was go to the deli counter to get some sliced cheese and sliced deli meat so I could make these sandwiches. Well, I stood in line for 5 minutes. I was there for 10 minutes. And the whole time I was standing there was another line at the hot food counter, which is next to the deli. And it must have been 10, 15 people in that line. No one even looked my way over at the little deli counter. I'm just standing there. No one even looked up to say, oh, we'll be there in a minute, or oh, we're really busy. We're trying to get over to you as soon as possible. No acknowledgement at all. After 10 minutes, I decided I wasn't going to wait anymore. But on my way out of the store, I did stop and asked to speak with a manager. And just to explain and let them know, like, hey, you got people standing over in the deli line. No one's waiting on them at all. I've been in line 10 minutes and not even a word of acknowledgement. So she, told me various reasons why the line was long. I think 2 or 3 people had called out sick. And the people who work the meat slicer are trained differently than the people who work at the sandwich bar or whatever. So I said, well, I got all of this stuff. I was going to make sandwiches. Now I got to put it all back. So she was like, well, I could get someone to help you put it back, or we could put it back. And I said, that doesn't even sound right. You like, I'm coming in the store to spend money to give you business, but you're going to find somebody to help me not shop at your store. So that was Friday night. And I put it past me. So I got up Saturday and figured if I go early enough, I'll beat the line. So I
Hmm.
went back, same store, same situation, except for this time I was in the line 15 minutes before anyone said anything. Another manager walked past from like the bakery department, and he said, I noticed you've been standing there for quite some while. And he said, I'm gonna see if I can get you some help. So he did that. And the same manager that I spoke to the night before, she came back over. So she went and found someone that could wait on me. And then she told them that no matter what I ordered, everything was going to be free from the deli counter. And I thought about it because, or why we wanted to share it was because there was a time that, in a similar situation, I would have wanted somebody's head on a platter.
Hmm. Hmm.
I'd have been like, somebody needs to be held responsible. And I mean, and even on a good day, I would have sat down and wrote a letter or filed a complaint, and I just felt like it was late. I just felt like I didn't want to do that. And I was trying to be understanding. It probably was all of this reading of Proverbs all last week.
Hmm.
And I finished my shopping, and that same manager, she came and found me when I was ready to ring up. She opened the line just for me, and she rang up the purchases, all of the deli purchases. She rang them up and zeroed them out. And it was just, I was telling him, I started feeling emotional when she did that. And then she rang up the rest of my stuff. She forgot to ring up the water in the cart. I had 2 cases of water. And so while we're talking, she was like, I am so sorry that, you had this experience, and please don't let this change the way you feel about shopping at our supermarket. And I was like, wow. And now I'm walking out to the store and I noticed I didn't pay for the water.
Hmm.
So I turned right back around, and the manager was still standing there. And she looked like she was a little panicked because I guess she thought I just took care of this lady, right? So I told her that I hadn't paid for the water. I don't think she rang it up. And then she rang it up. She thanked me for coming back. And then I told her afterwards that I really thanked her for her kindness that day because she didn't have to do that. And at the end of the day, I would have been satisfied if she just acknowledged that I shouldn't be left to wait, you know. But she went above and beyond, or as I told Kemp, that was like unexpected kindness.
Hmm.
All I wanted was to be acknowledged as a customer, that I shouldn't have to wait that long for service. But again, she went way past that. And then I told her, I said, you never know who you're helping, or where people are coming from. And I said, we're staying in a hotel, and I appreciate you helping me save money. Yeah, I said, because money's a little tight. And that was the experience.
I heard, when you look at what Lady D says, she said that's, yes, Lord, that's when we call that a blessing in disguise. You'll start noticing, just like as you can just, she just said it, when you are starting to read Proverbs and doing these things now, do anybody else see any type of different feeling when you start reading this to get the understanding? Do you feel a closer walk with them, or do you see your even when you maybe not you're driving down the street, you're not as quick to go out? Do anybody see anything transforming in their behavior?
Oh, absolutely. Now, when I'm driving and people,
Uh-huh.
act
Mm-hmm.
the way they act, I just say, "Oh, bless them." Bless
Mm-hmm.
them, because I'm remembering, because remember, these proverbs is we're practicing them.
Mm-hmm.
When we get off this call, we're practicing the proverbs in our lives. So
Mm-hmm.
yes, I do. Yes, I do.
And this is
And
what
my
was,
words. I'm watching my words. I'm not
you'll
cussing as much.
notice you're not as angry. You'll notice that you're not going to allow that stuff because if you stick to it, it'll stay with you. And that's when you're hearing it when he says either you're going to read it and stuff or it's not going to be amongst you. It just goes its own way. Do it what it wants. It don't need to be there. But some ways when you do this, just like when you say you read one of them verses and it says, wow, what did this mean? Maybe you even seek guidance from him. How many of y'all do that? Like you seek guidance. Man, just give me a level of understanding to get this. I really am seeking to hear I need to get this. That's in the meditation. That's why he says, let the words of your mouth and the meditation of your heart. So when you see Lynn, that thought right there, man, she just messed me up. That said, I had to bring it up here. And my gosh. Anybody want to talk about these next verses? Diane, perhaps. Can you read today? Chapter, what we at? You stopped at 22, right? Okay, you stopped at 22. Uh,
Yes.
okay. Lynn, let's start at 22 and we can finish it up to 33.
22 to 33.
Yes.
Understanding or spiritual insight is a refreshing and boundless wellspring of life to those who have it. But to give instruction and correction to fools is foolishness.
Mm.
The heart of the wise instructs his mouth and wisdom and adds persuasiveness to his lips. Pleasant words are like a honeycomb, sweet and delightful to the soul and healing to the body. There is a way which seems right to a man and appears straight before him, but its end is the way of death. The appetite of a worker works for him, for his hunger urges him on. A worthless man devises and digs up evil, and the words on his lips are like a scorching fire. A perverse man spreads strife, and one who gossips separates intimate friends. A violent and exceedingly covetous man entices his neighbors to sin
Hmm.
and leads him in a way that is not good. He who slyly winks his eyes does so to plot perverse things, and he who compresses his lips as if in a secret signal brings evil to pass. The silver the silver-haired head is a crown of splendor and glory. It is found in the way of righteousness. He who is slow to anger is better and more honorable than the mighty soldier, and he who rules and controls his own spirit than he who captures a city. The lot is cast into the lap, but every decision is from the Lord.
What do you get from that?
Mm.
How many of y'all need some? How many of y'all really say? Anybody ever heard? It's a song. They say, "Lead me, guide me along the way. Lead me, guide me along the way." Are you listening to me? It says like the value of patience and self control. Sometimes we have a way of just, woo wee. Let me stop this for a second. It says here, lead me, guide me along the way. What did that mean to you, Lynn? Do you ask, like this is in the morning, when you wake up in the morning, do you ever say, well, when you work, it says, well, the reason why now where I'm at now and it works for me, I woke up 4:30 this morning. And the first thing I did was seek some wisdom. Because I'm writing these songs now, right? So I seek the wisdom for myself now. Lord, give me a word, give me something. And you got to believe that it's going to happen. So I'm listening to this thing. It goes into saying, God directs our steps. Did you know that? Did you know He guides your steps, Lynn? Or did you know that, Lynn? Or Naima, did you know that, Dad? He guides your steps. But listen,
Amen.
listen, if He's guiding you, you said that. Now, anybody can say, yup, He guides my steps. How He guides your steps? Tell me. How did He guide your steps? How does He guide your steps this morning?
Well, you have to listen to him. You have to seek him. You seek the wisdom. You be quiet enough to listen. Okay, for me, it starts with, okay, Lord, what am I wearing today? And I let him tell me what to put on because he knows what's in my closet. Okay. Next, Lord, what am I eating today? Okay, Lord, which way you want? Do you want me to go left or you want me to go
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Everything. You must seek him in everything and then listen for the answer. And I
Yes.
think for a while I had a hard time. I would pray, but I
Yes.
had a hard time, getting quiet enough and listening for
Listening.
the answer. Which this is teaching us. I don't know nothing. I must seek for the wisdom. Stop thinking that I know the wisdom.
Yes. Yes. And
Yeah.
then even when you seek, right, it says first and foremost, why would you seek somebody you don't trust?
Come on.
Why would you seek somebody you don't know? How can you say you know him if you never even read anything that he's giving you? Because that's the only, listen, guys, I'm telling you, this is so real. So if it's a script, it's one of them verses in that daggone chapter today had to hit you. One of them chapters you just read, Naima, which
Yes.
one of those verses stuck out today? Which one of them do you see, Miss Lynn, that you just read? Which one did you just read? Lynn, okay, baby, you didn't read it. Well, which one
Mm-hmm.
did you hear?
Mm-hmm. For
See,
me,
when
it's
you listen
28.
correctly, huh?
28 stuck out. 28 stuck out to me.
Okay, well,
Troublemaker,
28.
troublemaker starts fights. But the thing that got me was gossip breaks up friendships. And I never
Mm-hmm.
looked at it like that. If I'm talking about somebody that's not in the room, I shouldn't, you know. I shouldn't be talking. If I need to say something to somebody, I need to go and say it to them, not everybody else.
Come on.
That's what stuck out to me today. That was one of the ones that stuck out to me.
One. So that's
Mhm.
the one
Mhm.
that you really need to take and meditate on that one. See, we think we got to take this whole thing. No,
Mm-mm.
you don't.
Mm-mm.
Lynn, which one of them stuck out to you today? Y'all the readers. Which one stuck out to you?
24, when it
24.
talks
Mhm.
about your words are being like honey or like a honeycomb, pleasant words. are like a honeycomb, sweet and delightful to the soul and healing to the body.
Come on, come on. Yeah, yeah, yeah. See, this is the stuff that you see. If you notice what she just said, right? Because at the end of the day, it says the value of that. Whoever is slow to anger. Now, we already know anger is really real. It's a real thing. Is anger a real thing? Anybody in here felt that before? It's real. Anger. Talk back. But then it says, whoever is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he who rules his spirit.
Well, that was my
Because,
situation with my granddaughter.
yeah,
I
yeah.
was angry. I was,
Ah,
my first emotion was anger. Like, girl, do but because of this Proverbs, like we've been having some good conversations. I've been allowing my words to heal her, recognizing where she came from, but she had to recognize where
mm-hmm,
she was and
mm-hmm,
what God has
mm-hmm,
blessed her with now. Like, okay, we know you wasn't doing well in school when you was with your mom and all of that stuff, but now you're here. Why are you not doing well?
yes,
And she
yes.
had to, fess up and, like, I don't know, I'm tripping, whatever. So, yes, these words are healing, so, and it's
They're
helping
healing,
me
right?
to use words of healing. Yes.
That's the whole key. Because now, watch this. Even if she does something, she does or whatever, you're slower to anger.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep.
You
Yep.
cannot have those kind of words in your heart.
Mm-hmm.
Get angry so fast. That gotta tell you something. Why are you getting
Mm-hmm.
angry?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody needs to. Oh, she don't do this to me. She ain't done nothing to you.
Mm-hmm.
Now you chose to do what you wanted to do, but if you
Mm-hmm.
literally get your heart right, that's why it's saying guard your heart.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
And,
Guard it. You got to use you. And what are you doing on a daily basis? So
well, you
what kind
can't have
of
expectations of others. We have unrealistic expectation of others, and
man?
we the same, and we don't have those same expectations for ourselves. I had to think about when I was 15.
Thank you.
I had to
There
think,
you go.
okay,
That's it.
I was full
That
of
part.
folly.
That
Okay.
part.
I
Full
tested
of
the waters, I tested the boundaries,
it.
and
Mm.
I received the consequences.
Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Y'all heard that. Now you got to get that part and be done with that. But if you understand that, you'll watch it. And I keep telling people this don't come with no, this is a sure shot guarantee. Did I say that correctly? It's a sure shot guarantee. When you have this stuff, get around the people. Hang out with Lynn. Hang out with Night. You gotta hang out with some of these folks. You all I hear is anger and anger and anger, anger. Why we need to do this. And then hang out with the people so we can transform those folks. Because I'm not hanging out with you if you're gonna be acting that way. Sorry.
Anger also comes from unforgiveness. And a
Yeah.
lot of times it's unforgiveness of yourself. We got to learn how to forgive ourselves. God has already forgiven us. I
Mm.
had a conversation with my son one day, and he was just so much hatred, so much self-hatred. And I said, but God already forgave you. But he was having a hard time forgiving himself.
That's good. All right. Um, Tom,
Yeah.
what do you get out of this daggone conversation we having up in the air today?
Oh, quite exciting. Quite exciting. Yeah, certainly. Got up late today. Of course, we were up half the night celebrating. Right.
I know that's right.
Yes, yes. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but Proverbs 16 and certainly I got 1 through 11. And
Yes.
I guess we moved on a little bit further than that now.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, certainly. But yeah, I've got to catch up on it for sure.
Pride or humility? Question. Proverbs 16 through 18 says, pride goes before destruction, and a
Yes.
haughty spirit
Hmm.
before a fall. Can you share a personal or historical? And at the end of the day, guys, you gotta, I mean, once we get this, listen, it's kind of like this. This is the application for us here in LCA. Trusting God's guidance when making plans. Live with integrity and righteousness. Value character over shortcuts to your success. Keep a humble spirit as arrogance leads to failure.
Hmm.
Speak with wisdom, kindness, and patience, and exercise self control in all areas of life. The chapter reinforces the power of wisdom, the importance of trusting in God's will, and the necessity of humility and discipline. All essential principles for personal development and leadership. That's what we got out. That's what I just gave it to you. Write it down and do what you have to do. I have something brand new I learned about today. And man, I'm gonna share something with you guys on tomorrow and just show you how this class we just did here, right here, has a podcast that we now do. We just did it right now. The podcast was done. And man, let me tell y'all something. Do y'all got a minute? Do y'all have 2 minutes, 10 minutes, 2 minutes, just two? Y'all want to see what this? Let me. I can't even wait till tomorrow. Listen to this. Okay, let me show y'all something real fast. So the name of this is called. I gotta bring it up first to make sure I don't get it right. To get it wrong. All right. So the name of the program is okay. Good. So the name of the program is called I want to say Google. No, no, notebook, notebook, notebook LM, notebook LM, notebook LM. Again, it is powered by this AI stuff. So remember last week we talked about the power of words, right? Okay, here we go. Everybody talking to you. Hush.
Hmm.
The power of words, right? Do y'all see this?
Right. Hmm.
CA Personal Development Travel Book Club Personal Meeting. And then it says the power of words, a personal development discussion. So that is now on our podcast. And it goes like this. This is what we have to give.
Hey everyone. Excited to dive into something pretty cool today. We're taking a deep dive into a discussion from the LCA Personal Development Travel Book Club.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. They get into like all this stuff about spiritual growth, and like practical wisdom for everyday life.
Yeah,
It's kind of like a spiritual pep talk, but with like real world advice too.
I like it. What's the main focus? What are they diving into?
Well, one of the big things that stood out to me was this whole concept of God's pill.
God's pill. Okay, now I'm really intrigued. That sounds pretty unique. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, it's a really creative idea. But before we get into that, I think it's important to touch on the foundation they lay first.
Okay, sure. What's the groundwork?
Well, they talk a lot about the power of words, like how the words we use, both to ourselves and to others, have a huge impact.
Oh, absolutely. The power of language is undeniable. It shapes our thoughts, our emotions, our entire reality, really.
Right. And what I found fascinating is how they connect this idea to both personal development and spiritual growth.
So it's not just about positive thinking then.
No, it goes deeper than that. It's about tapping into like a deeper wellspring for strength and renewal.
I see, yeah. So how do they approach this idea of the power of words? Are there any specific examples or stories they share?
Oh, tons. Like one that really stuck with me was Christopher's story about his time in the military. He talks about how those two words, attention hut, could instantly shift everyone's entire state of being.
Wow, that's powerful.
Mhm.
Just two words triggering an immediate physical and mental shift. Makes you think, doesn't it?
Yeah.
About how we can harness that same power of language to influence our own state of mind.
Totally. Imagine if we could use those kind of trigger words, for focus or motivation in our own lives.
Right, like a verbal cue to snap ourselves into a more productive or positive mindset. But of course, there's the flip side to that coin too, isn't there? The potential for words to hurt or discourage.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, that saying, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. It's like such a simple idea, but so powerful.
It highlights the dual nature of words, right? They can
Uh,
build or destroy. And that's why I think this whole conversation about choosing our words carefully is so important.
exactly. And speaking of choosing our words, they also talk about the power of daily affirmations.
Oh, I love that. Speaking life over yourself, choosing words that uplift and
Now you guys heard it. Y'all did it. We did it on last week. But what I
empower. It's
did,
such a transformative.
but after we did it last week, if y'all heard that, that whole hour and 25-minute video that we did last week, broken down into 12 minutes. But can you imagine if you're working on yourself, you go to these podcasts, and I don't know if anybody's ever been on podcasts before, but it's just like small talks that people are utilizing, like TED Talk. You ever heard of TED Talk, right? It's like a TED Talk. So all they did was take what we did, break it down into a podcast. Now I'm gonna send that podcast through there, and we're out there in the world now, and people are like, that's another way that people can find out about this group here. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like all self stuff. I was up here, and I'm always learning something new. Makes sense? And I know it was
Amen.
amazing to
Mhm.
me when I heard it. It was
Mhm.
just, I don't know what kind of whatever you do, but 12 minutes, that was good. So you got to do this. You take these types of things. Now, when they say this, this one of the reasons why I'm a person, I just love music. I'm a music, I don't know, I love music. Anybody like music in here? We
Oh,
all
yeah.
like, we all
Yes.
like, right? And the one thing, the reason why, and it's all kinds of different gen-
Mhm.
genres of music as well. So we got to start tapping into this stuff. But anyway, I wanted to share and I'm done. But I got excited about that.
Good stuff.
That is exciting. Great.
Yeah,
That was great.
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
So you guys have a great day on purpose. God bless you. God keep you. And let's go. Have a great